yeah, so like to find something that is like super meaningful and is exactly what you want, and it's great if you can, but for most people, it's not realistic. It shouldn't be the 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 plan A, right? Like, I think um more realistic is to find purpose in what you do, to make sure that if you like helping people or educating people, you can do that in your job. If you like to, go out and build relationships with clients, you can do that in your job. If you like, the energy it gives from doing deals and or finishing projects, you can do that in your job, right? So it's more about, I think, finding purpose within what's in reach than, leaving your job because, you're trying to search for something that you may not never find. It sounds very contradicting to maybe what I did, but yeah, for most people, that's a much more realistic path to success, happiness, and to say like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to do something completely different. Having said that, if you have an idea, if there's this urge that you want to switch your career, you want to become an entrepreneur, or what's stopping you? Like, just go and do it, and then you find out if that is for you. Um, in the end, a job is still a job, right? Like, if you look at professional football players, yeah, they all loved playing football when they were kids. I'm sure that with all the pressure of being a professional and the performing, not performing, and the business side of it and the politics, I'm sure their job is not fun every day, so they find the enjoyment in the part of the job that is fun, and all the other stuff just comes with it and you have to deal with it.
This is gold actually. So myself, I've been searching for an answer to this as well. I went like around you and on the internet, you only hear about do what you love, go after what you love. They don't this just skip the real part, which I think that's a beautiful and very realistic answer, both perspectives. So thank you so much for that. Um,
Yeah.
for
And maybe one addition to that, if I may, is it's not about what you want, but it's about what you're willing to do for it. So everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to have a great relationship with their partner. Everybody wants to be, a good parent. It's what everybody wants to be fit and healthy. But what are you willing to do for it? Like, if you don't go to the gym or you exercise, and you're not going to get fit automatically, right? So I think the question to ask yourself is how much you want something and what you're willing to do for it. And then everybody makes different decisions, right? If you want to be rich, but you don't like working hard, or you don't, then stop wanting to be rich, because it's not really gonna happen, right? So yeah, I think those are the questions to ask yourself. What are you willing to do for it? How are you willing to work for something, whether it's a relationship, whether it's being a parent, whether it's, yeah, that's the questions to ask.
Thank you so much for that. This is really helpful, for especially for young men. So for a young man starting out, what are the 3 steps to achieve financial independence? Because everybody these days, like since forever, but these days it's like a trend. Everybody's preaching this financial independence. But if realistically, how, like it doesn't have to be 3, but what steps can somebody take, a young person?
Okay, so I'll think about what advice I'm going to give my kids as they grow up. I think, discipline is a big part of it. Understanding that you need discipline, that you need to work hard, that not every day is fun, and so if you want to build your financial independence, then you need to have the discipline to do it. I think a big one would be, for me, big advice would be think longer term and don't be penny wise, pound foolish. So think about the bigger picture of what you're building, what skills are you building, what career are you building, what capabilities you're building. So I think especially early in your career, if you focus on learning rather than earning, that it will take you much further. And that's hard to tell young people, right? Because they live now and they want to, and they will, yeah. So there needs to be a balance, right? Like there needs to be a balance. But definitely also think of the path you're going and what it's going to bring to you in the long term. And you want 3 tips, right? So I need to come up with one more or 3 steps. And maybe my third one is you can always be rich. I'm rich. It's because I don't want like fancy sport cars or fancy watches or so it's being rich is about having more than you want. So you can, like if you have more than you want. So there's two things you can do. You can say like I need to have more because I want this, so I need to have more. Or you can say I should want a bit less and then I'm also rich, right? So and in the end we can all do with much less than like we think we have to, or that our friends have this car so we need this car, and or they go on this trip so I need to go on this. Yeah, if you want a bit less you'll feel a lot richer.
And that exactly answers one of the issues with young people today. Numbers never end, and people, especially young people, they're always dreaming of, like, they get one thing and then they're dreaming about another bigger thing, which is natural. We all do that, but there has to be we have to stop somewhere, right? We have to learn to
Yeah.
be thankful at a certain stage where, yeah, the numbers never stop. They keep on running. So building on that, yeah, please, you're gonna say something.
No, yeah, so it's also life, right? So it's also like if you're just completely happy with where you are and you know like it's great, but it also means your drive is sort of gone then, right? So you also need some ambition and some drive and some something that pulls you through life and to the next step and the next phase. So there needs to, again, it's I think it's about balancing. But yeah, so I when I was in Singapore in the banking job, I mean, money was never or at that time, money was never an issue, right? So we could go on any trips that we want and we could buy anything that we want. And it's also about like not wanting all the crazy things, like just the normal things. That was never a problem. And then now having, step back from the banking life and doing the entrepreneur thing, now it means that we had to adjust our lifestyle. But yeah, does that mean it doesn't mean I feel less rich? It just means like you adjust the lifestyle and actually it's fine as well. It's fine living in a smaller place and so like you just adjust and feel happy about it.
Beautiful. That's something young people really need to hear more. So thank you for sharing this.